Hey guys and gals, Scott with Heritage Farms, Texas. Hey, thanks for watching. So what are we doing today? Well, it's Monday afternoon after a weekend, and the rain's finally stopped here for a little while, so we have a little project this afternoon, and it's a project I'm not very excited about. We have to replace a hot water heater. So before we get started on this project, I ask, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell if you'd like to see additional commentary and videos on similar subjects. We have a wide range of topics here and would love to have you as a follower of our channel. So please, and then also leave us a comment, tell us what you think. Hey, I'm by no means a professional, so I appreciate any feedback and guidance you guys have. But let's take a look and see what's on deck. So we're at the corporate offices of Heritage Farms today, AKA my house. And this is the problem we have. So we've been in this house 23 years, and this is what we're dealing with. So we have a gas water heater in our garage. And when I came back the other day, we took a long weekend to go watch my daughter graduate medical school. And when I came back, Merry Christmas to me, I had a trail of water trickling out of the garage. So I started looking into it, and sure enough, the hot water heater is starting to develop a leak. And you can kind of see in here, it's got a little water. So the leak is just really starting to develop. It's like a time bomb though. At any moment, this thing could go off. So instead of draining this rusty water, that's really not too bad. But you can see a little rust sediment in there. But so instead of draining this out on the floor, I put a bucket here. I put this little corrugated tin, and it's been dripping for a day now into this bucket. So started to figure out what I wanted to do. Well, of course, hot water heaters are, fairly expensive. They can range anywhere from $600 up to, $1,800, depending on what you're getting. But this is a gas one. This particular one was a State brand, which I've never heard of it, but hey, it lasted 22 years, so I'm pretty happy with it. It's a 73-gallon hot water heater, 75,000 BTU. It's designed for a house that would support, 6, 7, 8, 20 people, who knows. It's one of the biggest hot water heaters you can get though. So I'm gonna have to replace it, but this is not your normal hot water heater installation. There's a couple of things going on here. Number one, up here at the top, this is your cold water inlet where the cold water comes in, goes through the hot water heater, the hot comes out and goes back to your house. This is your vent that goes up through the roof. But up here, we had a shutoff valve because at one point we ran water to an outside kitchen that we had out here. So I've got that going on as well. So I'm gonna have to come in here, figure out where to cut off my pipe somewhere at a place where I have plenty left to work with. The new hot water heater we got is gonna be about, of course, 4 inches taller than this one. So we're gonna have to figure some things out. And then down here, this is a little bit of a concern to me because our house is a ranch style house. It's really long. The master bedroom is on the total opposite end of the house. So it's a good, it's a long ways because this is a long, skinny ranch house. So we put a recirculating pump on this hot water heater so that when you go in the master bedroom and you turn a light switch on, it turns on an electric recirculating pump, which moves the hot water to the faucets in the master bedroom, which allows the water to get hot much faster than if we didn't have this. So you can see they use the drain outlet that came out of here before. This goes into the recirculating pump. You also have, this is your normal drain valve that you would have. But we got a little bit of an issue here because I'm gonna have to figure this out. Of course, at the time, all of these connections are soldered. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to cut these off, remove them, and I'm not sure if I'll have to go back with soldered connections or if I'll be able to use an actual, stainless steel hose or connection of that point. But this is one thing that bothers me because come over here and look at this. So here is the new hot water heater that we went and picked up. We got it at Home Depot, mainly because it was in stock, and right now there is a shortage of hot water heaters due to COVID and all the supply chain concerns. So before I show you my primary concern on this, let's talk a little bit about this. So first off, a lot of good reviews. There's like, I don't know, 9,000 reviews, and this has got 4.5 stars on Home Depot. It's a Rheem performance level tank. It's basically 75 gallons where the old one was 73. And this one is 75,000 BTUs where the old one was like 74,000 BTUs. Of course, this one is about 3 inches taller than the one that's in there. But here's the biggest issue with this thing, which I did not realize this. This hot water heater weighs 320 pounds. And I have to laugh because it shows 2 guys here trying to lift it. I can tell you, me and the other guy at Home Depot were not able to lift it. Of course, I'm getting old and everything else, but I couldn't lift it. But you can see, this is the 75 gallons. You can see it's for 5 or more people, 6-year limited warranty. So I'm pretty excited. The box was pretty beat up, but luckily there was no damage. One thing I do like is they give you, remember, hey, installation tools. And they give you a great little list of things that you're gonna need to actually install this hot water heater. So I really appreciate that. But then they take it a step further, which on the back side here, they actually tell you the gas water heater installation steps. So they tell you step by step what you need to do. They even show you a picture of what it should look like. So kudos to Rheem for taking the time to list everything on there. And I'm pretty happy. I think the tank looks really solid. One thing I did was I purchased a gas installation kit, which had my 2 high pressure stainless steel hoses for your hot and cold water. It also had your gas line. It even had the Teflon tape for your gas fittings. Also had compression fittings going into your water lines up at the top. So, all right, so this is what we're doing. So I'm at the stage right now where I'm just kind of planning. One thing I have to figure out though is how to get this tank elevated, because you can see I don't know, 20 inches, 24 inches off the ground. So I've got to figure out how to lift that hot water heater up to get it level so I can slide it in. So I'm probably gonna have to use a car jack, get some kind of base for it built up. I don't know, but it's gonna be a little iffy or dicey to make that happen, because I just don't think 2 guys can lift this up and set it in there. Unless it's 2 really, really big guys, and I'm not a really big guy. All right, more to follow here on the installation, but we're gonna get started with the dismantling. But I gotta make sure I got all my parts list correct. I got everything that I need, and then from there we'll move forward. Hey guys and gals. Okay, here's an update. Well, I really wanted this to be a video that was gonna be very informative, step by step, and it was gonna show you guys every single step we did on installing, or excuse me, removing the old hot water heater and installing the new one. Well, a couple of problems with that. Number one, my GoPro, my youngest daughter borrowed it because they went on vacation to the Grand Canyon and they were kayaking the Grand Canyon. So they thought it would be great to have the GoPro. So my GoPro is with them at the Grand Canyon. So there goes my tripod. There goes everything I have. So I'm back to my iPhone. So plus the other thing is when you're working solo, and let's just be honest, sometimes things don't go your way. It's kind of difficult to get everything going. But you can see here is the old hot water heater. That is the old one, 22 years old. That's the original one we put in the house. It's had a good run, but it started leaking out of the bottom and she had to go. So once again, we went with the Rheem. And you can see one of the things I'm a big proponent of is always write the date with a Sharpie on any appliance you get, just because you'll be amazed at how time flies, and you'll think, oh, well, that thing's only a few years old, when the reality is it's 20 years old. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. So the steps to remove a hot water heater, the old one, we came in here, we turned the gas off, we turned the unit off, we connected a water hose right here, and we turned this on. We turned the cold water valve back there off, and we drained the old tank. So once the old tank was drained, we came in here. Now keep in mind, back in the day when they were doing this, everything was hard plumbed. In other words, it was all copper, it was all sweated joints or soldered joints. So I had to cut all of that off. So once I cut the old joints off, I then came in, disconnected the flume or the vent that was associated with it. I don't know if it was code at the time, but this pressure relief valve was actually hardwired, or not hardwired, but hard line into our primary drain in the house. So new codes and things of that nature, you no longer have to do that. So we cut that off. From there, one challenge I had, which I didn't even think about, was the fact that this is a long ranch style house and the master bedroom is on the way end of the house. We have a recirculating pump, and you can see this little access door, and there's the recirculating pump. And the recirculating pump comes up to here, comes back in, and it goes back into the primary drain on that. Well, that's all fine and dandy. Well, the problem though is because of where this is located, the distance between here and there, it's not enough to get the tank out. Now, if you're Superman, you can just lift the tank up and over. But let me tell you, that tank weighs 330 pounds. I am not Superman. So we had to cut the pipe. We had to remove that. Now, one thing that's pretty cool, if you guys have never used it, and I highly recommend you check them out, is that right there. That is a snake bite, or no, excuse me, shark bite fitting. It's the greatest thing there is. It's a compression fitting, and it's basically click or push, click, and play. There you go. You literally just cut the pipe, shove it in there until it clicks, connect the other side, and boom. So basically I came in, I cut that, put another one right up there. So I was able to remove this. That way I could get the old tank out, I could get the new tank in, and we kind of took off from there. So once we put the new tank in, it's kind of a repeat process at that point. So we came in, this was a little bit different because this was all hardwired before, or not hardwired, but copper tubing. I mean, it was all sweated joints. So there's no easy way to remove that tank. Thank goodness for technology. Everything now is moving towards PEX or flexible hoses. These are high pressure and stainless steel braided hoses. They can handle a lot of pressure, hot or cold water. So the same thing up here on the top. So what do we do up here? Well, we had a little bit of an issue because you have these big 1-inch pipes. You have to go through a reducer to get it down to 3/4 of an inch. And then you got the stainless braided hoses that go on. Now on this end, it's pretty sweet because it's just like a water hose fitting right here. But right here, this is a compression joint. So you had the little nut and the little brass sleeve that fell over. And then when you pull it up tight, it cinches down and creates a watertight seal. So what I've been doing here for the last hour and a half is I'm checking every 15 or 20 minutes. And sure enough, I get a little drip of water here or there. And I come back and I tighten it up. May only be 1/8 of a turn, 1/4 of a turn, but we get that done. So the pressure relief valve, if we ever need it, I plumbed it straight down, ran it out right here so that if anything happens, in essence, I'll see water on the garage floor and I'll have the ability to fix it. Because in the past, it was plumbed into one of the main drains in the utility room, and I would never know if that thing was ever releasing any water. Now I will know. So now underneath the hot water heater, when we were doing this project, also found a little evidence of, let's just say, some rodent activity, which I'm getting ready to take care of. So before I seal up the little access down to the bottom, we'll make sure we give the little house guest a nice buffet meal that they can come from. So this is what we're doing. So been at it ended up taking half a day of vacation today because it was just too big of a project, couldn't get it done. Got my daughter home, my wife, and trust me, ladies want hot water. Something about taking a shower in cold water that seems to upset them. Now this is a huge tank. This is a 75-gallon tank. It's 75,000 BTUs. And really, probably don't need a tank this big, but that's what we had in the house to begin with. My wife decided that we needed to go back with the exact same thing. I was trying to down gauge and go to a 50-gallon tank. Hey, there's Sadie. And that would have been nice, would have been a little bit easier to install, but hey, long story short, we got it up and running. I'm gonna leave it open here and kind of monitor it for the next 24 to 48 hours to make sure everything's smooth. In an ideal world, I would have put a pan underneath the hot water tank, but this tank has a diameter of 26 inches. You cannot find 26 inch, or excuse me, so if it's a 26 inch tank, you really need somewhere in the neighborhood of a 30-inch pan to fit, because you got to have a little bit room on each side. And with COVID, there is no 30-inch pans. So there wasn't one on the old unit, and the fact that this is located in my garage, if this thing ever does start to leak, at least the water is just going to come out to the garage. The garage floor has a little bit of a slope to it, so it's not going to flood the house or anything of that nature. So the risk is somewhat limited. So, and the fact that it's brand new, I hope I get another 20 years out of this, but we'll see. But guys, hey, let me tell you what. I hear a lot of good things about Rheem, but one thing I do like is these guys just really did a great job of putting instructions on here so you can see the steps. Turn off the cold water supply, shut off the gas, connect hose to drain valve, open, drain the tank. After draining, disconnect hot and cold water lines. Remove the old tank and reposition new water heater. Reconnect the hot and cold lines. Make sure the drain valve on the new water heater is closed. Turn on the cold water. Fill the tank. Reconnect the gas supply lines. Install the vent. Open the gas supply and check for leaks. Follow the lighting instructions, set the thermostat, and voila, you are done. So it's really cool that they gave you all of the necessary steps. They even show you a diagram of what it should look like. So kudos to Rheem, not to mention the fact that they also tell you what tools you need, what supplies you need, and available accessories. So I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with this. But once again, so this was the Rheem natural gas heater, 75-gallon tank, 6-year limited warranty. Ooh, but I want you to check this out, 75,000 BTUs. That is a beast of a hot water heater. All right, guys. Hey, I'm no expert. You know, I'm sure there's, leave me comments if I did something wrong or if there's something I should check or look at. Hey, I'm an amateur, but I watch a couple of YouTube videos and I'm a big believer in figuring stuff out on my own. I did consult some of the hourly workers at Lowe's and Home Depot. Actually came across some guys that were a little gray in the hair that seemed to have a lot of experience, and they were able to help me out. So, you know what? I think it's pretty good. One thing about it, I'm just not gonna pay $1,000 in installation charges when it's something I can do myself. So all in, I mean, this hot water heater was something like 890 bucks or something. My wife had a coupon online orders for Home Depot to get like 10 or 15% off. So we got a discount on that. We spent about 100 bucks on miscellaneous hoses and fittings and things of that nature. So all in, we're under 1,000 bucks and we got hot water. So let me know your thoughts. Is that a good deal? Hey, please leave a comment. Love to hear from you. If you're not a subscriber to our channel, please subscribe and we'll go from there. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased with it. We're back in business. Glory be to God. Thanks for watching, guys.